Hello. So I want to do a quick video for anyone interested in mental health, anyone who's affected by it or knows somebody affected by it, maybe you don't know somebody who's affected by it. Okay, maybe it's someone in your family or a friend of yours who does have mental health issues, who's hiding it very well. So I've had mental health issues now since about the age of 18. I started getting very depressed. At my lowest point, I genuinely considered committing suicide. I've worked very hard on myself over the years. I've seen therapists, counsellors, you name it. And I won't say I don't get and have mental health issues or episodes, but the difference is now I have a sense of awareness that allows me to kind of control it, really. I'm aware of the triggers that set it off and lead to the deep, dark times. And so the reason I'm doing this video is because I'm becoming aware of what's happening to me right now. And I just wanted to share that with anyone who can maybe relate. So over the last few days, quite a lot has happened to me and for me in a positive way. And when this happens, I tend to get very excitable, okay? I get a mania, I get very manic, and I get very high and hyperactive. And that's all good, and it feels good. And the problem is it's like a drug, right? You feel good, and you just want to do more, get more done. And the problem becomes, well, one of the problems becomes when I'm really working at a rate mentally and physically that is not, you just can't keep it up. And then also what happens is I don't sleep. I'm waking up, one, I'm struggling to get to sleep, two, I'm waking up 2 o'clock in the morning and I'm pretty much awake for the whole of the night. And what used to happen was this just used to carry on. I just lived in a constant state of mania until I crashed, because it's cliche, but everything that goes up must come down, and the higher the highs, the lower the lows. And so what helps me now is recognize that I'm having a high and start working with it, start meditating, start calming down, start taking the time, being aware rather than just doing it and being in it and getting more crazy. I say, look, I'm being a bit crazy, I'm getting a bit high, it's affecting my sleep now. Of course, the other thing I used to do was drug myself. I would have alcohol to get to sleep, or, at times I've obviously had actual drugs, antidepressants, sleeping tablets. The problem with this is, yes, it can help in one sense, but it's just masking the underlying problem. So you then become dependent upon drugs to get to sleep and to control your moods. So, sleeping tablets to get to sleep, caffeine to get up during the day, and it becomes a vicious cycle that can't continue. So it's really about learning techniques and learning more about yourself and your triggers to control it before it gets to that level, because at that level, it's very hard to, the momentum carries you away. And unless you're aware you're in it, it just happens to you. And that's the hardest part. So if you're feeling maybe depressed or really fed up right now, it's probably because your world is so busy. It's just happening to you. And that gives you a sense of feeling out of control. And that sense of feeling out of control is one of the problems. So, yeah, from my own experience, I just want to say, I'm very understanding right now. For me, it's a time of mania. I'm very high, but I can also see how that's causing me to get very tired. And if I don't control it, I will get higher, and then I will crash. So, yeah, if you relate to this, then maybe you can take something from it. It starts with that awareness. When you realize you're maybe feeling that way, you're having an episode, try and control it. Try and calm yourself down. Try not to turn to alcohol or drugs. Try to go easy on the caffeine. Look for things in your diet maybe as well. Chemicals, chemicals in my mind. If I'm eating the wrong foods, that doesn't help. It does take discipline, all right? It can be seen as something that's detrimental, as something that's a pain in your ass. But you know what? I see it as a superpower, because when you're in this state, you have potential to get a lot done. And you can use that to your advantage if you also become aware of when, you know, enough is enough and too much is too much. And because if you burn yourself out, you're no good to no one. So that's my message. Try and control your states. It may seem, if you're in a pickle at the moment, it may seem like, you know, you can't even, when you're writing it like that, you can't even see a way out. But the way out is awareness. The way out is understanding where you are, knowing that it is just a phase, just a pattern, and that, you know, every week is different. Every day is different. You may be feeling a certain way one day, but tomorrow it'll be different. So it's just a cycle of life. But when you know that, it helps, right? You know, I used to get caught and I used to think, oh, right, you know, I'm feeling depressed today. That's it. I'm just depressed again. Life's depressing. But now, if I have a bad day like that, I just think to myself, okay, well, today's a bad day. Tomorrow will probably be a good day. Like, and next week will be completely different. And that really softens the intensity of the feeling. So, yeah, that's all I got. I'm not sure if I mentioned, I've just published a book that talks about this sort of stuff. You can download a free chapter at my website, www.aaronclarkofficial.com. If you want to hear more about my struggles with mental health and how I've developed techniques and ways to deal with that stuff and to deal with life, to make it all a bit easier. So yeah, I hope you're taking care of yourself. I hope you pass this on and share it with people who you think it could help. And I appreciate your support. Thank you. Bye-bye.